Hi, welcome to this special Thursday edition of Tag Talk. My name is Kiley. This is Haley. Haley was frozen for a second and my heart dropped to the floor. That
was I frozen or was I just like sitting? Because
no, you were frozen. Your eyes were closed.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're live on a Thursday. It's a little weird. And we're also live in the evening, which is also a little weird, not gonna lie. It's also storming outside.
It's storming here too. I don't know if you can tell by the color of my skin right now. I'm very pale.
We're living life on the edge here. That's what we're doing. You know what? This show could end in 5 minutes because we lose power, but that's the kind of adrenaline rush content you get here at Fightful Overbooked. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know it's not our normal day, but Thursday is still just as good of a day as Monday. So thank you for joining us. We have a lot to talk about this week. Tag team wrestling has been super weird this week. A lot of things happened that I don't fully understand. So we're going to break it all down. We're going to have a good time. If you want your question, your comment read, make sure you submit a super chat and we'll read all of those. And I think that's all like our housekeeping stuff. Oh, next Monday we will still be live Monday at 3. Thursday is not going to be our normal time. This is just a special circumstance because of personal things that happen, but it's okay, guys. It'll be okay. It's Thursday Tag Talk. We love alliteration. Ace in the chat. He knows what's up. Anyway, let's get into it. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts about this. So if you don't know, WWE had a pay-per-view. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso won the WWE tag titles. They are, of course, a makeshift tag team. I don't think anybody thought that one of the Usos would be winning tag titles with a non-Uso or a not member of the bloodline, but here we are. And I guess Cody finished the story. I guess I was not a fan of this, and it's funny because Jackie's not here, but I could talk about it. I had been talking to Jackie, who's a queen. We were talking all night, and I had said to her like hours before this, I was like, I'll be okay if FTR loses if Cody and Jey don't win the tag titles. And then it happened. This happened like the same night too. So it was super weird, but it really threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting it and I don't think that I like it. What do you think?
I love it. I wasn't sure about it at first because I was like, like it's just giving Cody something to do and spin his wheels until, we get back to Roman probably next year. But now I love it after watching the press conference and them interact. Like, I'm obsessed with them. Like, I'm team, I don't know what their team name is. Kodusi? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but I love them. I love it. Kiley, it's late. Leave me alone. I've been covering New York Comic Con all day. I'm tired, okay?
I did like them at the press conference. I thought that was, I don't know if they were drunk or just high on the wind. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, they had some funny moments. It was kind of great. But I don't know. I just feel like to me, it's an extension of the lack of creative direction the Bloodline has had. And Cody as well, obviously. But the Bloodline especially. I don't know. I just haven't really been feeling anything no. Jason Major in the chat says Team Cussy. That is too close to another word that we're gonna move on from that.
Also, like we have Bussy, like,
but all we need is Bussy. We don't need Pussy. That's I can't believe you started this, Haley. I'm open to more name suggestions for Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. I mean, we can get creative with it. But yeah, the Bloodline as a whole, I've just kind of been like, on them since, I mean, a little bit after WrestleMania, but it's just kind of been blah to me. And I do think that Cody being in the mix with the Bloodline is a good sign that they are still going forward with Cody as the guy to beat Roman, or at least that he's going to win a world title at some point. I don't know if that's Roman or whatever the situation is going to end up being, because The Rock is apparently lurking around. But I don't know. The tag division in WWE was kind of in a good place. Like, they had some tag teams that they were getting going, and there was a lot of fun stuff happening in NXT too, which I watched NXT this week, guys. I deserve a round of applause for that. I watched NXT. And NXT had some good teams too, but it does feel, and you said like earlier, that it's a way for Cody to kind of spin his wheels until he gets back to Roman. And it feels like the Bloodline story has been spinning the wheels, and they're burning rubber. They're burning rubber at this point. And I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I do think that Cody is the guy to beat Roman, because I don't think there's anybody else apart from The Rock who you could really have in that spot. And I pray to God it's not.
See that, especially like, because I feel like it really depends on the SAG strike, right? And how negotiations go, and who knows when that's ending. Obviously, things have been suspended as of now. So I think it's really going to depend on that. But I also still don't think that Roman and Rock needs a title. Like, I think the match sells itself without the title. So.
100%, especially with Paul Heyman in NXT this week, because NXT went head to head with Dynamite. Did that little segment of him trying to recruit The Rock's daughter into the Bloodline. Because if you don't know, The Rock's daughter, I think it's his oldest daughter, is training at the Performance Center, which is super cool. I love that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not interested in Roman, I guess, at this point, because it feels inevitable that whatever he's doing is just going to be filler, I guess. It's a filler episode for this season of WWE. But this episode of NXT was kind of fun. It was a little bit strange. I thought Cody being on NXT to cut a long promo where he says basically nothing was it was a long promo. I don't know the exact time on it, but I was shocked. And he didn't say a whole lot of anything with substance, especially since he just won the tag titles, but it was okay. But I do think that WWE is still invested in Cody. Fingers crossed, still invested in Cody. They're still going to do something with him. And Jey Uso being part of it, I mean, it's good for Jey Uso. Because I feel like Jimmy Uso kind of gets, especially the last couple years, he's like the Jeff Hardy of the Usos. He's like the one that draws the attention. He's the one who gets kind of the spotlight. So Jay being in that spot is fun. And maybe they'll circle back to Sammy and KO. Maybe they'll do something else. I don't know. But I'm kind of like, I'm a little iffy on this whole. I don't think that they needed to win the tag titles.
I want to go back up here for a second just to show Sabrina. It's the Seth and Finn shirt from SummerSlam.
Sabrina says, Haley, what does your shirt say? And it's a wrestling. I'm not wearing a wrestling shirt. I'm wearing a Bigfoot shirt.
Of course.
You sent me that video?
Yeah, I don't know that it's Bigfoot or if it's a guy in like a hunting suit, but hey.
It was really convincing.
Yeah.
I was convinced.
Me too. But to your point, Tyler says, come Survivor Series, do we see the Bloodline and Judgment Day teaming in War Games against Cody, Jay, Sammy, Kevin? It may be a surprise return.
Yeah. I definitely think that's what it's building for, especially with the interactions the Bloodline and Judgment Day have had the last few weeks. And that makes the most sense to me. I don't see either side if you could put someone else in there and it would make sense. I did watch the Listen Your Boy. I think it was Listen Your Boy. Sean had talked about maybe it would be Judgment Day and Rhea and then a Cody team with Jade Cargill. And that would be kind of interesting and fun. That was him just fantasy booking, obviously. That's not like anything official. It's just fantasy booking, which would be kind of fun. But I do think that this, like Tyler says, I think that's what they're building for. It's going to be interesting. I do love War Games. I do think that Cody does best in these matches where he's kind of like can play that role of getting absolutely beaten, destroyed, and massacred and come back and be victorious in that way. And I think that's a good way to kind of heat Cody, Jay, Sammy, KO, all of those guys, heat them back up. But I don't know who else you put on that team.
Now that you say that, or I guess you and Sean, that would be really interesting. Especially if, they don't want to put Jade in NXT and they're just trying to hotshot her right to, the main roster. I think that would be really interesting, especially because she's, one of Cody's kids. I think that would be really interesting. I would like to see that. That'd be cool.
I think it would be fun. I think that, and it would give her enough space to breathe in that match. Where if Jade, I love Jade. I'm a Jade stan. Love her to death. I do think that compared to like Rhea Ripley and Bianca and the other like that genre of women's wrestlers in WWE, I do think she's a little bit behind in ring wise. That's just the nature of like the AEW system and how they're trained. But if WWE doesn't give her the performance center and a run in NXT, she doesn't have the luxury of the benefit of the doubt in WWE because just then how they're hyping her up and everything that's going on. So I do think going back to War Games, I think putting her in War Games gives her space to breathe and she can do some cool spots and have some fun with it. And they can really she doesn't have to wrestle every week. They can really take their time with her and slowly get her up to speed. I think that's a good way to use her because she's a spectacle to look at. Like she doesn't have to wrestle to be that eye-catching because she's just, one, she's beautiful, and two, her physique is just incredible. There's no one like her on the roster. So that's what I mean, it would be fun, but I don't think WWE does a whole lot of intergender stuff. I mean, Mixed Match Challenge was kind of like their last hurrah of mixed teams. I don't know. It'd be fun.
I mean, they've been doing stuff with Rhea and Dom now.
Yeah.
But I think it would also be a good way to kind of build to that match too, because that's, one of the big matches that people are talking about that they want to see Jade in, Rhea versus Jade. And, they could, like you said, take their time building to something like that, putting her in something with like Natty or, people like that. I think that'd be really good for Jade.
Yeah. And, I don't think that Jade has to come onto the main roster and immediately be in the title picture. That's ideal. But I think Jade really needs, in WWE, I think with this audience, she really needs to establish herself first. Or else the audience is just not going to accept her. They're going to hate her. And we don't want this to be also a Ronda Rousey situation where she gets a great debut and people like her, and then she just becomes unlikable because of booking and creative decisions and promos and that kind of stuff. So they can't really drop the ball with Jade because she doesn't have Cody's history and Cody's star power where she can cross over and fans will just immediately love her. She's not starting from scratch, but she kind of is in some ways in WWE. So she doesn't get the Cody benefit of the doubt. And if they drop the ball with Jade, I think going into next year and in 2025, I think that'll be a major decision for other people who are wanting to go to WWE because you can get the Cody treatment or you can get the Jade treatment. I mean, Brian Pillman Jr. is there, but he's not part of this discussion. He's getting the NXT treatment. But that will be like, you could get one or the other. So I think they really need to start her strong. Ace in the chat asks, does Jade win or lose her debut? She has to win her debut. She has to immediately go for maybe not a title, but someone who's super tough and someone the fans know really well, like Natty. Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be Natty, but ideally someone like that who fans, have a certain expectation for and they know that person.
She's so good at selling and putting people over, and I think that would be great for Jade to work with somebody like Natty. She's really good at elevating these kind of younger girls.
I definitely agree. And I think that fans have a lot of respect for Natty. I think she's reached that point of veteran status where fans are going to love to see her regardless, and they're going to root for her regardless. But Jade also, to counter that, she needs to come out and be mean. Like, she has to be a heel because it's going to be really, really hard to get someone like Jade, whose whole thing is like, I'm money, like I'm high class, I'm elite, like no one can touch me. That's not like babyface material. And I don't know if fans would choose to cheer her or not. I don't know. I don't know, like WWE fans, how they're looking at the Jade thing. I know that they're excited to see her, but I don't know how many of them watched her in AEW. I have no idea. I'm not that plugged into the WWE fan base to know. But they really, I think, Jade as a monster heel against a babyface Bianca Belair. That's like the after a year, I think that's like where Jade should be. Maybe WrestleMania, maybe SummerSlam, I would say. That's where she needs to be.
I agree. I want to catch up on some super chats before they get lost in the shuffle. We have one from our friends at the Pro Wrestling Podcast. Whoa, it's TikTok time.
It is. Special Thursday Tag Talk, which is always fun.
Yes. And we got a super chat from Ryan. How does Bigfoot tell time?
He's got a Sasquatch.
I love that.
Listen, if you're like an OG Tag Talk fan, you know this about me, but I am a Bigfoot like enthusiast. I love Bigfoot. I love like all the conspiracies about Bigfoot. Bigfoot's my dude. For some people, it's aliens. That's fine. For some people, it's like vampires. That's chill. For me, it's Bigfoot.
It's funny because there was a time in Kiley and I's friendship where we were fully going to go on like a Bigfoot like retreat and just like go hunting for Bigfoot.
And we would have found him. Like
if anybody could do it, it's us. 100%.
100%. There's no one like us. When Haley and I are together, we can survive off of air. No food, no sleep, nothing. Just air. We would have found Bigfoot. It's by sheer luck than anything else.
We would have found him so quick, too. I just know it. We would have stumbled upon it. Between both of our, like, ADHD.
Yeah, all these guys with their Bigfoot hunting shows. All this, like, $1 million equipment. Please.
We just stumbled across it.
All you need is a little ADHD and some mental illness, and you can find Bigfoot. You're trying too hard. That's why you're not finding Bigfoot. Think of all the people who have seen Bigfoot. Are they trying to see Bigfoot? No. They just see Bigfoot.
Well, also, it's like, I think it was Cleopatra. She said that, like, or allegedly said that, you know, if anybody finds her, it's going to be a woman and not a man. Like, that's going to be us with Bigfoot.
Oh, 100%.
I love that.
We're going to find Bigfoot, and we will bring him on Tag Talk.
What a Tag Talk guest. Bigfoot. Wow.
It made me think of it because Ace of the chat says Mansoor on Sour Graps was great. That was incredible. I was watching Sour Graps just for fun because I am an AEW fan and I'm a Sour Graps fan, and they're going head to head with Sean. So, and two, I just really I watched NXT for the first time, guys. I had to be plugged into content. And then he came on and I lost my mind. I didn't know it was going to happen. No one had told me. And he was so nice. It was so good.
I didn't know this. Pat McAfee told a story of how he went hunting for Bigfoot in Georgia over the summer. Says he saw one. So we need to call up Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, come on Tag Talk and talk about Bigfoot. Do we need to do like a cryptid episode for Fightful Overbooked? We could do a Bigfoot show.
Yes.
Okay, I'll pitch it to Jeremy. Jeremy, we're gonna need to get on a Zoom. I have a pitch, and it's me and Haley talking about cryptids. Listen, that's the kind of content Fightful Overbooked needs, I think.
And who better than us, you know?
No one else could do that. No one else would do that.
It's true. Yeah. We have gone so far south, and we're only like 20 minutes into this episode.
It's Tag Talk Thursday, baby.
It is.
Do not ask Ryan for dad jokes. Ryan has an endless supply of dad jokes, and we'll give them to you.
Yes.
The only way Ryan's allowed to tell dad jokes on our show, though, is through super chats. That's the rule. If you want to tell a dad joke, Ryan, anybody, submit a super chat. That's the rule. No dad jokes in the chat. Anyway, moving on from Bigfoot talk, because I could go on and on about Bigfoot. I have so many theories. But back to WWE. I'm afraid. I guess is my thing.
The segue from Bigfoot to just I'm afraid.
I'm afraid of WWE, not Bigfoot. Bigfoot would never hurt me. WWE would. Survivor Series is going to be fun. I know there's I hate bringing him up, but the CM Punk stuff, I don't think CM Punk is going to be at Survivor Series or part of War Games. I saw people today saying that they were speculating that he was going to be part of War Games. He's not. Subscribe to Fightful Select and you'll know why I'm saying that. But it's okay. WWE is in a good spot. You know, the product's hot. Fans like it. Even if I don't like it, fans do. And I will say, I watched NXT for the first time in 2 years, and I posted one take on NXT, and I got hate comments. So I think it's because I've been so public that I don't watch WWE as it airs. I'll watch stuff after because I don't have time, and I got a hate comment. So I'm never watching NXT again. I'm traumatized.
And it's funny because I thought you were watching AEW. I didn't even know you were watching NXT. So I'm in our group chat, posting pictures of Jade because I'm like, oh, I'm the only one watching. I want to show them, whatever. And nobody responds. And I'm like, okay. And then I see Kiley was out here watching NXT the whole time.
In my head, I was like, I can watch both. And I shouldn't have done that because it was a lot of work to watch both. But I did. I was like, John Cena's there.
Undertaker
was there. You think I'm gonna miss that? I was expecting the Undertaker to be Dead Man Undertaker, and he was Motorcycle Undertaker, which was
American badass.
It was a little bit disappointing, and John Cena was a little bit weird, if we're being honest. It was a little weird, and Cody was definitely weird. But I watched NXT, and I deserve praise for that, not people being mad. Is pro wrestling done with Punk? I don't know. Haley and I have talked a lot about CM Punk, and our consensus is we have no clue. AEW is done with Punk. WWE is presumably done with Punk.
Punk is gonna Punk,
I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk starts his own little ragtag indie promotion, to be honest.
Honestly, that'd be kind of cool.
Where he can be the guy, the booker, the star. I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be opposed to it either. But I don't know what CM Punk is doing. I don't know anything about that. What I do know is that NXT was weird. Is it like that every week? Couldn't tell you. It was a good time though. AEW was also a good time. I will say the fact that this was not this week, this was prior. I guess we can just segue into AEW now. So they announced FTR was going to defend their tag titles against Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And in my head, I'm not even thinking about this match. Because to me, this is a one and done. FTR is a clear winner here because FTR Young Bucks at Full Gear, right? I'm not even thinking about this match. Haley and I are talking about Collision. It's not even on our radar. It's like a filler match. It's just there. And they open the show. I'm like, oh, they're going to give Ricky a showcase. Okay. Give Ricky his showcase because he deserves it. And then they squash FTR and win the AEW tag titles. This was so confusing. People are saying Cash is injured, which apparently now he wasn't injured. People are saying that FTR is going to take time off, and now they're not taking time off, and they actually wanted to lose like this. It was so shocking to me that they lost that quickly and decisively to Ricky and Big Bill. I don't know what to think about this, honestly. And now it makes me think about FTR's title, that run, in a different light too.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like it's one thing to, lose the tag team titles, but to lose them in a squash, like that was so surprising. And I had missed the first part of Collision. So when I saw you guys like panicking, like, oh my god, FTR lost, I was like, what do you mean FTR lost? Like, that's crazy. And like, I don't know. I guess I wasn't expecting to see FTR and the Young Bucks so soon again, like wrestling again. So I figured, they're probably going to lose the titles at some point. And, I thought that they were going to lose them to Aussie Open. But, of course, Mark got unfortunately injured. And that probably halted things. So they were like, well, you know what? We got Ricky. We got Big Bill. Okay.
It was so abrupt. I was so surprised. I also, and I think we had both said, after the Bucks had won the not Money in the Bank match, I think we both had said, like, it's a little too soon for Young Bucks FTR, considering they just had their match at All In. But that did seem like the direction. I am of the belief, my own personal opinion, that Aussie Open would have won that match if Mark Davis hadn't been injured. It just seemed like it was going that way, to me, at least. So Aussie Open Young Bucks, then, that would have been Full Gear, and it would have been a great match. And then you could build FTR Young Bucks for what Revolution, I guess, would be the next big one. But am I happy for Ricky and Big Bill? Obviously. Like, Ricky deserves this. Big Bill, I don't think he's done as much as Ricky has to deserve a title in AEW yet. But it was like such a weird way that it happened. So like they get rid of Cash, like they destroy the announce table, and then they just destroy Dax and they win the titles. It was so bizarre because you know that these two teams could have a really good match. But I guess the Aussie Open thing kind of threw a wrench into it. I don't know. But I do think that FTR didn't do as much with this title reign as I thought that. I don't know. I guess the way it ends kind of sours the entire run a little bit. I think if they had lost the Aussie Open, maybe I wouldn't have these thoughts. But now I'm like, what was it all for? Because Ricky and Big Bill haven't been a thing that long. And it definitely feels like this was like, who do we got? What can we do? It's Ricky and Big Bill.
And Graf said that Cash is injured, just not as bad as initially thought. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I figured that they were going to get those titles off of them as soon as possible after I heard about all of them being injured. But it's just a shocking turn of events, man.
Yeah. And I'm happy for Ricky, and I think Ricky's going to do great things with this. I still think that Ricky Starks, Big Bill versus Young Bucks at Full Gear is a great match. It has a built-in story. They don't have to do that much with it because the Young Bucks won the not Money in the Bank thing. I think it'll be fun. I presume the Young Bucks win.
And they have to, right? It's in California. Like, they have.
The only argument I've seen against that, though, is like you could really get a lot of heat on Ricky and Big Bill.
Sure.
So I don't know.
And, like, you don't always have to have a hometown, like, favorite, like, win, whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, AEW has had a history of letting the hometown, wrestler win their matches. So it would be unpredictable then. I still think the Young Bucks are going to win it. I really do. And I don't know. I guess it depends, like, for what the Young Bucks do. What is FTR doing? What is Aussie Open doing? And not even just them. There's, like, a Bullet Club Gold is still part of the situation. You have the Kingdom, who is doing something with MJF and Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, but they're still around. Butcher and the Blade have been getting matches. So there's other tag teams in AEW, I guess is what I'm saying. So I don't know. I think the easy idea is Young Bucks win at Full Gear and move into a program with FTR again. But I don't know, AEW could use it really to prop up other tag teams. They did it with Ricky and Big Bill. And you could do it with other teams.
And I think I would like to see that. Like, it's not that I am against seeing FTR and the Young Bucks again, but I feel like that's another thing that's just, like, spinning its wheels. And, like, how many times do we have to see that match? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like you said, there are other tag teams that I would like to see either the Young Bucks face or, see Ricky and Bill go into a program with and really kind of, elevate each other. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, and I think it would be fun to do the Young Bucks versus Golden Lovers in AEW because we haven't gotten that in AEW. We got that in New Japan. So I think that would be fun just for maybe that's a pay-per-view level match, but you could definitely put that on a TV special and it would be fine. I need the Young Bucks, if they're going to be tag champs, to do something substantial because they are still 6-man titles, 6-man ROH 6-man belts with Hangman, and they haven't really done much of anything with those. So I need the tag division to get back to its roots, and that roots are the Young Bucks. But I need things to mean something now because the trios titles are with the Acclaimed, and they're doing this MJF thing, which we can talk about because I have a lot of thoughts about this. But what the Acclaimed are doing, I think has a lot of meaning to it. And I need Ricky and Big Bill to not just be, the doormat the Young Bucks walk over. I want to buy into Ricky and Big Bill as possibly beating the Young Bucks. And then I need to buy into other people beating the Young Bucks because FTR's run, it was like, it's definitely FTR. It's definitely FTR. It's definitely FTR. And even the Aussie Open one, I was like, probably Aussie Open. Like it was just felt like it. So I don't know. I guess AEW just used to be this promotion that was so unpredictable, and anybody could win at any time, and anybody could show up at any time, and it was just going to be wild chaos. And I want them to get back to that.
I do too. And it's funny because yesterday, Graps had posted something. I'm just gonna out him right now. He posted, "All I ask of wrestlers is that you make me feel something, anything," and I'm still disappointed time and time again. And you saying that it kind of reminded me of that because I do feel like there's a lack of kind of, I don't know, like uniqueness in wrestling. Like we have the stuff with Tony Storm, that's freaking great.
Yeah.
The stuff that the Kingdom and Roddy and Adam and MJF and all that, that's great. There is some really good stuff in wrestling right now, but I feel like overall it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like a repeat and like rehashing of stuff, which happens, but
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like sometimes AEW fans and WWE fans as well, they really buy into a character and they really like push for this character, like Julia Hart, for example, who is taking time off. She's on her honeymoon. Congratulations. Or like just the House of Black in general. And fans really buy into it and they really push for it and they get their titles. And then it seems like wrestling bookers just say, okay, that's the end. I need to move on to the next big thing. And they don't carry the story through because, once you reach the peak of a story, like interest is going to die out. But I think what happens now is like wrestling promotions are so focused on getting like spikes in viewers or spikes in merch or social media engagements, whatever, that they don't tie the come down to the next come up. It's like just all these different rises and falls, like peaks and valleys happening independent of each other. Like nothing feels cohesive. So when you get something like Adam Cole and MJF and Roddy, and is bringing in all these ties to the past and everything makes sense because you know that these guys are friends. That's why that's so great, because you have the peaks and valleys and everything connects. And that's why like the story with the Elite does so well. And that's why AEW has guys who do those things really well. But it's like, because all these young stars in AEW are coming up and they're reaching these peaks and then nothing connects, they just fall to the wayside. And it's so hard to really buy into someone beating FTR, beating the Young Bucks, because they just seemingly appear out of nowhere. It used to be back in the day like, oh, they got 20 wins on Dark. Like, of course they're title contenders, which never made sense, by the way. But now it's like they just happen. They just pop up, and you're supposed to believe that they could legitimately beat FTR. And I think what happened this week, especially with Swerve, with Hangman, with Jay White, we saw the beauty and sort of the just value in going into a match, not knowing who's going to win, being divided on who should win, and just buying into the match because you're not so focused on thinking about booking. Like, why is the match booked this way? It doesn't matter why it's booked that way, because one, it's going to be a great match, and two, you should not be able to just pick out who's going to win. And we talked last week about how some matches are predictable and they need to be predictable. And I think that has been sort of a crutch for AEW the last couple years, just predictability and just really just generating social media attention based on this. Wrestling fans can all be bookers of shows and they should all have a say in how things are booked. It's wild.
I definitely agree with you. And on the topic of like peaks and valleys, I feel like a really good example of that is somebody like Wardlow. You know, he won the TNT title and then, you know, lost it, and he was really hot, and I thought that they were gonna pull the trigger on that program with MJF, and then he just really cooled down, and there was just, that was it. And like now he's back, but it's like, is it too late? Like, did you not capitalize on him when you should have? I don't know.
Yeah.
But things
I like
really frustrate me.
Yeah, I will say I have liked the last couple things they've done with Wardlow. It does feel like they're in rehab mode, like starting from scratch with Wardlow, which is necessary because Wardlow, that entire situation was just, I feel bad for him. And I think that they really did drop the ball with Wardlow. And it does feel like they're also in rehab mode with Hobbs. I think that he's in that same spot where they're starting from scratch, getting him back introduced and making him feel legitimate again. But yeah, it's just this trap that AEW and WWE does it too, but WWE, they recycle a lot of the same things month to month. So it's a little bit of a different situation. But it's so hard to like invest in a talent who's on the rise when you know probably deep down, even if they win the title, they probably will not stay there. And it sucks because even if they're like Sammy Guevara, even if they're tied to someone like Chris Jericho, Sammy's with Don Callis now, and I have so many thoughts about that, but I already talked about them last week, and I don't want to sour my mood. It just sucks because no one feels entirely legitimate unless they're like just beating everybody like without any competition or anything. So AEW's new era, I definitely see the new era thing. I definitely see them trying to undo past mistakes, especially with guys like Wardlow. Will it work? I don't know. I think that they need to be more cohesive with stuff. I think that the Ricky Starks Big Bill win is the most telling thing, how they handle this, because I think most people expect that they're going to lose to the Young Bucks at Full Gear. And I think maybe that's the smartest thing for the division, but it's how you get them there and how you treat them in the middle. Ricky Starks and Big Bill, what kind of promos are they going to cut? How are they going to wrestle? What are they going to look like on screen? Even if a fan believes it's a foregone conclusion that the Young Bucks win, they should still be excited for the match. They should still buy into the near falls. They should still buy into Ricky Starks and Big Bill being contenders. Because in AEW, it does feel like anybody can be a contender at any point in time. And while that's great because it's fun, because people get tag matches, it also feels like there's these untouchable guys like the Young Bucks and everybody else.
Sorry.
I saw when he said that.
Listen, I'm terrified for Matt Jackson, okay? And, you know, his back issues. And I'm just, he's going to take one spear and it's going to literally cut him in half.
Listen, I would kind of love it. Not going to lie. I think AEW needs more of that. Not squashing the Young Bucks, but I think they need more of the young guys coming up and proving that they are actual, like, main event talent, like Ricky. Because Ricky is also one of those guys who's constantly in the peaks and valley holding pattern. Big Bill's a little bit of a different story because he hasn't done much of anything. But I don't know. I would kind of like it. They come out, they squash the Young Bucks, and then you could do the like push the Young Bucks aside, have them do something with like Edge and Christian, like non-title fun stuff. That would be great. They don't need to be there. I think the Young Bucks are in a spot where they're going to be, big draws, and fans are going to love them regardless of whether they're going for a title or not. And then you could do Ricky and Big Bill versus like, you can do them versus the Kingdom. You could do Hookhausen when Danhausen is back. Like, there's a lot that you can do. And I think AEW needs to do that. I think they need to stop relying on these tropes. And I don't know that's not AEW's only problem. And I don't want it to sound like I'm just sour on Ricky Starks and Big Bill, or I'm sour on AEW, because I love AEW and I love Ricky and Bill. I don't know. I just feel like now I want them to squash the Young Bucks.
Listen, as much as I love the Young Bucks and I would love to see them win the titles again, I feel like it's probably time to, put over somebody else. And I think that would be fun, like you said, especially because it's in California and they have that advantage and people are going to see them win. It'd be so great. But I saw Sabrina say, and I saw Graps mention something similar. But what if they teamed Wardlow and Hobbs to face Ricky and Big Bill? Listen, the meat chants are still the best part of All Out. And I would love to see what a team between Wardlow and Hobbs would be. I think that it would be so fun.
It would be interesting. Hobbs being, to me, Hobbs being tied up with Don Callis and Kenny Omega and like guys at that level, that to me says that AEW is investing in Hobbs, and like that, therefore, as a fan, I should invest in Hobbs. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Wardlow. Wardlow's, not mixed up with Don Callis and all of them, but he's coming out and he's winning by like ref stoppage, like which AEW never does, that hokey ref stuff. So to me, I should know when Wardlow comes out, okay, he's going to destroy people. So I think it would be fun, Wardlow and Hobbs as a tag team. Them beating up Big Bill. I had the same idea with Satnam Singh when Jeff Jarrett was on every TV show. I was like, someone big should really beat up Satnam Singh. Like, it'd be really good. And it never really happened. But could you imagine like Wardlow and Hobbs just destroying Big Bill and then turning on Ricky, and it's like 2-on-1, it's a handicap match? It'd be gold. That's what you need. It'd be so good.
I would love to see it.
I would too, especially because Wardlow and Hobbs, I think they're both super talented, underrated talent, actually. And something about them wrestling together, just, I want it. They're a team that makes more sense than Ricky and Big Bill. Mm-hmm. So AEW, if you're not going to do Wardlow versus Hobbs, Wardlow and Hobbs, and then you could, who else they got that's big like that besides Miro? Miro and Brian Cage. You could do like the meat extraordinaire match, the meat battle royal. Oh my god, a meaty tag team battle royal. Like, you remember, like, it's a battle royal, and then if both members get eliminated, they're out, and it's like whoever's left wins it for their team.
Yeah.
Teams of like meaty guys. And then, listen, Tony, listen, you have the chance to do the most hilarious thing that AEW has ever done.
It can be a sponsored match like WWE does. It could be like sponsored by Oscar Mayer.
Slim Jim just turns on WWE. Slim Jim, you know that you know what you need to do. Listen.
Oh.
I say it every show, but if we booked AEW, they'd be getting 5 million viewers every week. I'm just saying. You can doubt yourself, but
Oh my god, yes. Butcher win. It would got to be perfect.
It sells itself. It sells itself. The Butcher winning the meaty battle royal?
Yeah. Perfect.
Listen, you have to now. Like, you can't avoid it.
I need it. Okay, he said I pitched the AEW meat division weeks ago.
They had a meat division, and it was the TNT title, and it was atrocious. It was Samoa Joe was champion like for one day a week, and then by the end of the week, it was Wardlow, and it was awful. But if there are tag teams, and Ricky Starks is somehow part of the meat division, somehow he's in there. I don't know how he got in there, but he is. Ricky Starks just deserves to beat the Young Bucks. He just does. And I would love if he won by pinning Matt Jackson.
Matt always taking the pin is
Matt, he's just, that's just his vibe. Like, when someone pins Nick Jackson, I'm like, I know Nick Jackson, I know he's crazy, and I know he could have kicked it off. But Matt is always dead on his feet. He's always like already halfway there. I believe it.
Like I said, he's gonna take that spear and it's gonna end his career, I swear to God.
He's gonna cry. He's gonna cry on camera, real tears. And then Christian Cage is gonna come out and make fun of him. And that's how we set up the match. Christian and Edge not immediately being a tag team is interesting to me. We didn't plan to talk about this, but now I want to talk about it. So Christian Edge being like, I want to end my career teaming with my best friend of 40 years. And Christian's like, nah, I'm not interested in that at all. I hate you. It's interesting.
I love it. I love it because... Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to ask you a question, but I want you to finish your thought, and then I'll ask a question.
No, ask me.
Oh, I was going to say, do you think that Edge is going to challenge for the TNT title?
Well, see, I've had this thought multiple times since he's debuted. And I'm like, I mean, they could do it, but like, I feel like they're going to do the match anyway. And honestly, it doesn't need a title. So I was like, even if they put the title on Danielson, and then, you know, eventually down the line we get Adam and Christian, like, I'm so excited for it either way. But I don't know, something about Adam taking the TNT championship from his best friend just really like
if you did that to me, like if I was champion and you stole it, I'd be so upset. I would never forgive you. So if the story ends up being that Adam like wins the TNT title and Christian agrees to team with him just to betray him at the end, I'd be into that. But if they're going to be a tag team, then Christian can't be TNT champion, I think. Mm-hmm. So who beats him? Hopefully Hook.
Hook, I mean, we've said it so many times, Hook needs something solid. And I would love to see him do something with, I mean, not that, you know, I mean, he's got gold, but like, I want to see him actually like defend
the real title.
W. Yeah. I think that would be so great for him.
Jason in the chat says someone with a dead dad. I mean,
and then Nick Wayne. Please, I mean, you're right.
Who else has a dead dad?
Jack Perry.
Santana. Santana's had a story that his dad is he's in a feud with Ortiz, but hold on. I just need to make sure. Not Carlos Santana. I'm trying to Santana wrestler.
Carlos I love Santana. Just Wikipediaing this right in the middle of the show.
Yeah, his dad has passed away. Okay. Santana. Why does it have to be someone with a dead dad?
I was gonna say
Christian just only wrestles you once your dad dies.
I was gonna say something really dark, but like it's because I have a dead dad that I was gonna say it, but I should probably keep it to myself.
It's okay. I have a dead mom.
You know what?
Should we trauma dump on Tag Talk Thursday? Trauma Thursdays. Another show we can pitch.
The Dead Parent Battle Royal. We come out. It's the number one contenders for the TNT title. We come out. One of us, you know, we pull like a Nikki and Brie situation where we turn on each other. Like they did.
I thought you were going to say we do twin magic. Like, that would not work.
When they turned on each other in the Rumble, and you know.
I love the idea of someone like challenging Christian Cage for the TNT title and him being like, "Where's your dad?" And then if their dad's alive, he's like, "Nah, goodbye." I love that. It could be Nick Wayne, like back down to earth, real talk, but I don't think Nick Wayne's ready. Hook. I think you could do Hook versus Darby, Hook versus Nick Wayne, like really get that up and running. I just need Hook
Wednesday would love Hook and Nick Wayne.
The female demo.
Yes.
The female demo loves Hook.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian, but also Hook versus Christian would draw like 10 million in the female demo.
It literally would.
It's the turtleneck. It's a turtleneck and then Hook in a chain. Like it's both polars.
Listen,
like
Tony, this is what you gotta do. Move Dynamite to Monday nights. Go against Raw. Put Hook and Christian on the show. Guarantee. 2 million.
This is a Monday Night War. This is how we end it. And then that's when Raw gets kicked off of Monday. Because Ari Emanuel's like, we want to move off of Monday. No. It's because they're scared of what happens when they lose in the Monday Night War against Hook and Christian. And Hook and Christian can wrestle like a 90-minute Iron Man. Like they can take like most of Dynamite. And then you could have like a JR interview. Those are always super long. And that would be a Dynamite that could beat Raw.
The Cougars would go. Exactly.
The female demo. But female demo, I'm talking all the females. We're not putting in an age cap on this.
In my house, it's Team Hook and Team Christian. Like, my mom loves Christian. I love Hook. I mean, I love both of them. But we're bringing the whole demo.
I've been in love with Christian since I was a child.
I know.
I've loved every era of this man. And now I also love Hook. I'm an OG hooker. And so that match to me is like God tier. That is my Omega Okada. That match. So, out of context to be like, I hate Fightful.
Does Nick Wayne have a matching turtle neck vest yet? No, but he
should.
He's fully embraced the like emo vibe, wearing black. I love it. He should though, definitely.
Nick Wayne being in Christian's little faction with Luchasaurus is a little weird. But I'm totally into it. I love that his whole story has been like, I just hate Darby. So I'm aligning with my enemies so I can get Darby. I love that. Edge being there, I think, has like mixed it up a little bit. And I'm not sure where Edge falls in line with all these moving pieces because his whole thing was like, I'm here for you, Christian. And Christian's like, go away. And so, yeah, he's like, F off. And is Edge going to continue to pursue him and be like, please, Christian, please? I don't know. It's going to be, I don't know. But if it ends with Christian losing the TNT title and being comforted and hugged and assured by his best friend Edge, I'm into it. And then we can do Christian and Edge versus the Young Bucks. And they can win the tag titles. I just think Christian is doing the best work of his career. And I really need Edge to like rise to that level in AEW.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. That match against Luchasaurus, I was not that excited for. But, you know, I was willing to give it a chance because I was like, you know what? We haven't seen Adam Copeland, like, outside of WWE.
WWE, yeah.
And so I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. That man, crazy. I was like, by the end of that match, I was like, you know what? Round of applause, standing ovation. I loved it.
It does feel, at least to me when I watched that match, it did feel like he was experimenting a little. He was trying some new things, figuring out what his limits were, like what he could do and be cool with it. And Luchasaurus was a solid brick wall. And he went into that match and he's like, Edge, you're getting out of this match alive. And he did. So I thought that was a good first opponent. I was skeptical, like you said. I was like, I was skeptical of it. But I was into it. And I'm excited to see Adam Copeland. I want the dream matches, obviously, like the Kenny Omega match, the Bryan Danielson match, all that kind of stuff. But I also want to see him, wrestle AEW guys and see what he does against someone like Darby or someone even more crazy like Phoenix and Penta. See what he does and if he's willing to kind of go past his comfort zone.
I love seeing people that, come out of that environment and really just like thrive in experimenting and trying new things and just like new character work, just really having room to kind of evolve, I guess. And I don't know. It's fun. I'm excited.
I'm also excited. I'm just kind of reading chat, catching up. We're coming up in an hour, so we're gonna try to wrap it up. So if you guys
didn't even realize.
Yeah, this was a fun episode. We should do Thursdays more often. if you guys, Thursdays normally don't work for me, but if you guys want to get your last minute super chats in, make sure you do that. Haley and I will give our final thoughts. Haley, go. Your final thoughts.
Oh, my final thoughts. I don't know, man. I'm really excited to see, I guess, taking it back to Cody and Jay. I'm really excited to kind of see what they do as a tag team. Because like I said, I'm all in on those two after that press conference. And it's really cool to see kind of Jay thrive as well. And just kind of, I don't know. It's some of my favorite work that he's done in his career. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any other final thoughts, I guess. Oh, I wanted to talk about the Taco Bell cheese, but you haven't tried it yet, so I feel like
tried it yet. Oh, so if you don't know, Taco Bell came out with like a vegan nacho cheese, a dairy-free nacho cheese, which is big news for me because I have a dairy allergy, and Haley, dairy messes her up big time. So we were so excited for this. I haven't tried it yet though. I was I don't know. Am I going to order it or am I going to wait for tomorrow? Because I'm getting tattoos tomorrow.
I'm going to just wait.
But I really want it. It doesn't matter.
I mean, like, listen, it wasn't my favorite thing, but, like, because to me it just tastes like store-bought, like, plant-based cheese. And, like, I was like, well, I can make this at home. Like, this is kind of boring. It doesn't really taste like the normal cheese. And I'm a Taco Bell nacho cheese connoisseur, okay?
Whoa,
like,
whoa.
I love Taco Bell nacho cheese, all right? And it didn't taste like it to me. It wasn't the vibe. If you guys have ever tried vegan cheese or you know what the brand Diet is, that's what it kind of tasted like, and I hate their cheese. So, but Kiley likes them, so she'll probably like it.
Listen, that's all I know.
I wouldn't order it again, but I was happy to support.
Anyway, my final thoughts, because I haven't tried it. I'll tweet when I try it, guys. You could. This was a really fun episode. I am a supporter of the meat division. I'm a member of the Dead Parent Club, and and the most important demo in wrestling, the thirst demo. So I think Tony Khan should call me up and let me book Dynamite. That's my final thought.
You know what the girlies want, okay? And it's Christian Cage, it's Matt Jackson, it's
I've been tweeting him. I've been tweeting this man every day. Dear at Tony Khan, this is what you need to do. This man is tweeting nonsense all day. He's been tweeting insults at people. He's been tweeting There's weird things about John Cena not wrestling on a show under 1 million viewers ever. Like weird stuff. He can't tweet me back. I personally addressed this man a letter. A letter.
Been chronically online for the past 3 days.
This man is so unplugged from the girlies. He doesn't know what the girlies want, and I'm trying to help him. I'm saying, Tony Khan, listen, this is what you got to do. He called Triple H and Shawn Michaels bald assholes. Jason just reminded me, which I can't object to because my Twitter header, my picture, is me calling Don Callis something similar. So
a bunch of bald phobic people.
Haley? If you guys don't know this, Haley's bald phobic. She made fun of Nick Jackson for balding. I'm gonna publicly say that. I'm outing you.
I'm not.
I'm outing you.
I literally didn't. Okay, this is what happened.
Wait. Someone in the chat just says they need to read thirst tweets on BTE.
I think I've suggested that before.
I need to see it, but also I can't be a part of it. They need to do thirst tweets, but not find mine.
I'm deactivating my account.
I don't think I've tweeted that many.
I'm going private.
I don't think I've tweeted that many recently, but I have a past.
Same.
And we do not need to uncover her.
We have a before wrestling media and an after wrestling media.
Yeah. The Nightmare says, answer chat question, please. What was your question? I don't see your question. Oh, did you like Tony Storm's new gimmick? Oh, yeah, we talked about that earlier. Sorry I missed your question, but yeah, I love Tony Storm's new gimmick. I think it's probably the best thing she's done. And I think it's probably the best thing the AEW women's division has produced, at least in the last, in the post-COVID era. I think it's the best thing they've done. So yeah, I really like it. Anyway.
Before we go, I'm going to defend myself right now.
Okay.
Listen, I think at one time I said something about how Nick looks like he's balding a little bit more, and that's all I said. And then another time John Cena was on screen, and I was like, oh wow, you can really see his bald spot, and that's all I said. And now all of a sudden I'm bald phobic for pointing out the truth. Okay, I love Nick Jackson. I love John Cena, and I am not bald phobic. I'm setting the record straight today.
Thank you for clarifying. The inside joke is going to continue. I hope you know that. We're not giving up on it.
Everybody hears on it. So.
Everybody hears on it, but you know what? These are the people who followed us to Thursday. They deserve to be in on that. I guess that entire thing was my final thoughts. Haley, do your plugs.
Oh man. Okay, you guys can follow me on Twitter at @HaleyAnn_. I do wrestling, writing, for Nerds and Beyond, so you guys can check out my stuff there. I have a couple of interviews that I'm trying to secure right now, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. I also have a cookbook. It's called Eating the Indies. It's available on Amazon. Kindle and hardback versions. I think that's it. You can follow me on Twitter at Kiley Wrestling. I post everything I'm doing there, and I live tweet, but I will not be live tweeting NXT anymore ever again. Not a good experience before. Also, Jason in the chat just said I have to pause my plugs. Let's get Kiley a Tony Khan interview. You put me in a room with Tony Khan, I will get you the dirt. If there's one thing I know, it's maniacs like Tony Khan, and it's because Tony Khan and I are cut from the same cloth. That's a fact. Follow me on Twitter at Kiley Wrestling. This is Fightful Overbooked. There are a lot of really great shows on Fightful Overbooked. Wrestling stuff, not wrestling stuff, all sorts of things. So go explore. Go to the playlist tab and go explore. Go have fun. And subscribe to Fightful Overbooked. This is Tag Talk. We are normally live every Monday at 3 p.m. This was a special circumstance. Now we were live today at 6. But you know what? We had a great time being live today at 6. But normally Monday at 3. That's where you could find us. I think I covered all of the plug bases. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next week, but it's really just in a few days.
See you guys in a couple days. We'll be around. Bye.